Three of the nation's biggest tech giants just reported quarterly earnings, and one thing is certain: the jaw-dropping investments in artificial intelligence are only just getting started. Microsoft reporting a nearly $35 billion AI spending spree last quarter alone. Meta committing to spend $70 billion on AI this year. And Alphabet vowing to shell out more than $90 billion for its AI agenda. Now, this all comes just days after Nvidia became the world's first ever $5 trillion company, with CEO Jensen Huang forecasting an additional $500 billion in sales of just its AI chips. Let's bring in Jacob Ward, a technology journalist, host of the Rip Current podcast and the author of The Loop: How Technology is Creating a World Without Choices and How to Fight Back. Jacob, great to be with you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, these companies are betting big that the idea of AI is going to continue to grow, but are investors convinced? I mean, is this a bubble?
I mean, this is the problem, right, is that big isn't even the word, right? It is such an incredible amount of money being spent on this. Like take, for instance, the amount of money that a company like Microsoft is blowing, right? $35 billion in a single quarter. And it's not at all clear how that money is going to come back. And that has, of course, some investors excited and making some big bets, and in other cases it's making them very nervous, as with Meta, as we saw today.
Yeah, it's interesting because shares of Meta fell more than 10% after CEO Mark Zuckerberg promised to aggressively raise AI spending. But tell us about the concerns about this company in particular.
Well, so the thing is, right, we equate Meta with all the others in terms of the money they make. But in fact, Meta makes about $170 billion a year, and 98% of that is ads against social media. They do one thing, and they do it really well, but they only do that one thing. So then if you're going to spend $70 billion, that's about 35 to 40%, my math is not great, 35 to 40% of that total revenue on this investment that shows no clear signs of paying off, other than maybe it could make your ads better. Well, what are you doing, right? So that's why investors, I think, are very nervous. Whereas Google, if you look at them, Alphabet, right, is going to make $350 billion in a single year, so they can afford to blow $90 billion, not least because they're making about $45 billion a year on infrastructure, on cloud computing. So they have a way of making that money back, and that's not at all clear to investors that that's true with Meta.
Another headline we're following: DeepSeek, showing us that China can build AI chatbots that perform the same as American companies do, but cheaper. This is key.
Right.
Do you think the U.S. the tech giants could find more ways to do more with less? It's always a challenge. And if they do, what happens to all that money that they've asked for?
Well, this is the thing, right? Everyone needs to get their money back, right? This is the thing. The market is going to want its money back. The investors are going to want their money back. So all these companies are under incredible pressure. Now, DeepSeek was a really interesting thing that sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley because they turned out to be able to train AI so much more cheaply than these other big companies have. But what no one has been able to figure out is how to actually do the work more cheaply, right? So when you ask AI to do something for you, to make a funny video or write a knock-knock joke, you are asking all these computers to turn on in this data center somewhere. All of that is still super expensive. DeepSeek did not solve that problem. So the thing is, right, we're in this clear bubble. It's got to be a bubble, right? Nvidia alone worth $5 trillion, the first company to ever be worth that amount of money. If even $1 trillion of that comes off of their total value, who knows what that's going to do to the economy? I mean, the whole point of this is investors are pouring money into this, and eventually they're going to want their money back. And it's not at all clear when that's going to happen.
Absolutely. You're trying to invest in the future and also trying to do more with less, which is the ethos of every company, no matter how successful. Jacob Ward, great to see you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks a lot.